Hi, friends. I wanted to bring you my latest junk journal. It's a game themed journal. As I've mentioned before, I'm more of a list maker than a journaler. So this kind of plays into that. It's an idea that I had. We're a very competitive family, and whenever my kids would play a board game, I would take the lid of the board game and write the date and who played and who won. And then that way, when we were playing again and some kid was saying, I never win, I could say, look, 4 years ago you won. So I always thought it would be neat to have all those compiled into one area. So that's the idea behind this. I also thought about maybe if somebody was in a game night group and they wanted to keep records of who came, what they served, what they played, that type of thing, who won. It leads to that, but it's basically a blank journal. You could journal about when you were a child, maybe the games that you played, but it's totally so you can customize it to what you want. It's an old book. It has 4 signatures. The front is just a collage of different game pieces, and then it does say game journal out of Scrabble tiles. And then I made a chunky charm. It's just some dice, some small cards, and a little poker chip. And then the back is just a collage of different game memorabilia. There's a Yahtzee scorecard. There's definitions cut out of the dictionary about game, checkers, dominoes. There's an old bridge card. So just that. And then I do have it closed with my signature bulldog clips, so they just clip off, and it has a chain, and I use those a lot on my journals. And then I'm going to stop it for a minute. I'm going to put the book down so we can go through it, and I'll explain all the features to you. Just a moment. Okay. Okay, so here again is the cover, and we're going to go inside. The Chucky Charm is just held on with a clip that you can move up, so it moves it out of your way. And then on the inside is just a Monopoly tray. It explains the rules, how you play the game. Then I have a library card. And then one of our mottos for a family was it's about playing the game, and it says about winning, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. About losing, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Play the game, play to win. So I have that on there, and that's just totally removable. You could glue it on there, or you could leave it. Now, each section, like I say, there's 4 signatures. One is board games, card games, dice and dominoes, and then children's games. And so it's held on by these metal prongs. I sell these in my rusty shop. I rust them, and then it's just a kind of like a subway art of different board games. You could take that off, you could change it, whatever you want. That's why I say it's customizable. Again, this was more thinking about game night, where maybe what you served. And then this, like I say, it's blank, so you could put the game that you played, the date, who came, just you could fill all that out. There's 10 pages. In the middle of each signature, there is an envelope. And inside the envelope is all the things that you can put on your journal. You could make tuck spots, that type of thing. So I have all these game pieces that you could customize your journal with. So that's in the center of the signature. Again, I did that so you could use it however you wanted to make the book work. And then, like I say, there's just plain pages. And then the next signature is the card games. And again, it's the rusted metal prong. There's the extra paper. Then in this signature, I have different card games, like spades and blackjack, Texas Hold'em, Hearts, just different games that you might play. Uno, you might play. So you can, again, you can add them to your journal to tuck spots, or just write on the back, or you could journal on them. And then this section is dice and dominoes. Again, you could take this out. Again, kind of for game night. And in the center of this signature, the little ephemera is like a Yahtzee game, some dice, Farkle, Bunko. Just depends on what kind of games y'all play. But I have those there for you. If those are games that you play, you could add them to your journal. And then the last one is children's games. And on this one, I used a little bit different paper. Again, we put the snacks and that type of thing. But I used children's writing paper for the paper. I thought that kind of went with the theme. And then in this one, it's just all children's games. There's Old Maid, Candyland, Chutes and Ladders, Operation, just different games you might have played, or play with your grandchildren or with your children. And just keep that in there for you to embellish your journal. And then the back is just a Scrabble product page. And that's the end. So I want to thank you for watching. I would appreciate any comments or any advice you could give me. I'm still new to junk journaling. I did want to mention one other story about from my family that kind of led to this game night or game journal. Growing up, my mom was a bridge player, and she would come home from her bridge games, and sometimes she would say she had won, or she'd won high, or she had won low. And I always thought won low meant that she came in second. And so I would always say, "Oh, that's great, Mom." Then years later, we were playing a game with my kids, and one of them lost and got upset. And Mom looked at him and just said, "Well, honey, you just won low." And I'm like, "What? That means you lost?" So it's just a story that I remember, that my mom was just very competitive. We were all very competitive, so it just seems to go on. But again, I would appreciate your comments. And thank you for looking. It will be for sale in my Etsy shop. Goodbye.